Welcome back to another edition of MHS Classics. This week we feature the 2006 Section Championship versus Colfax. This Manteca team would come into this game riding a 19-game winning streak that would continue well into the following season. It would also be the first of back-to-back Section Championship wins for the program. Colfax would also come into this matchup with a perfect 12-0 record. This would make for a highly competitive game. We hope you enjoy this MHS Classic, Manteca vs. Colfax, 2006.
Welcome inside Amos Alonzo Stagg Memorial Stadium on the campus of the University of the Pacific for the Division IV CIF Sac Joaquin Section Les Schwab Tires Football Championship game between the Colfax Falcons out of the Pioneer Valley League and the Manteca Buffaloes out of the Valley Oak League. Both teams, as we said, are 12-0. One will be a perfect 13-0 at the end of the night. The other will be the runner-up. These teams are very familiar with one another as the captains are meeting at midfield right now. In 2002, they played on this field for the Division III Section Championship. Colfax won 33-30 in a controversial game. They went on to finish 13-0 with that victory, while Manteca was the runner-up. Then in 2004, the teams played in the first round of the playoffs. Colfax was 10-0. Manteca went on the road and upset Colfax, ending their season. Colfax has not won the title since 2003. They were upset by Manteca in the first round. In 2004 last year, they lost to Sonora in the second round, while Manteca won the D3 title on this field a year ago against Sonora. You see those two matchups both in the playoffs between these two schools. There is the officiating crew as Manteca will get it to start. Manteca has won 19 games in a row. Their last loss, October the 14th, a season ago when they lost to Sonora. There is their head coach, Eric Reese, in his 5th year at the helm, now coaching in his 3rd section championship game at his alma mater, 45-12-2. The same can be said across the way for Colfax. Tony Martello coaching at his alma mater. He's had a remarkable run with the Falcons as Coach Martello, 114 wins, 18 losses, and just one tie. Colfax now has had 7 straight seasons of at least 10 wins, and they've been in the playoffs 10 years in a row. While you look at Manteca, as there's Coach Martello right there. Manteca, they've been in the postseason 5 of the last 6 years, and during that stretch, they've either been the champion in 2001 and last year, this year still to be determined, or they've lost to the champion in 5 of those 6 years, losing to Colfax in the playoffs and the finals, and then also losing to Rio Linda in 2004 in the round 2, or the semis, if you will, and Rio Linda went on to win the title. So 5 of 6 years for Manteca, either the champion or they were beaten by the champion in the playoffs. Colfax, 10 straight years in the playoffs. They're looking for their school's 5th section title. Manteca's looking for their 3rd section championship since 2001, and this is their 4th section final since 2001, so in the last 6 years. Colfax in the white. They did not warm up on the field before the game. They showed up right for the introductions. Manteca did warm up. Manteca in the dark green and the white numerals. It'll be Paul Cook to kick off for the Falcons. Manteca has returned 3 kicks for touchdowns this year. Michael Barber has 1. Forrest Connor has 2. And it's the Buffaloes on the return at the 18. It's Barber, and he'll get to about the 30 after he was brought down by Luke Cook. And so Manteca will come out on offense. Their quarterback, an outstanding 2-year varsity starter, Ruben Sedano. As a high school quarterback, he is 41-3. He's only lost 1 game at the varsity level. Andre Patterson is the tailback. Jared Akai will play fullback. He also starts on D. Barber and Fryer the receivers. Crawford the tight end. And we'll get you the O-line after this play as Manteca starts at the 30. Little fake by Sedano, drops it off wide open to Akai, the fullback. Jared Akai at midfield, cuts it up near the 40, and there's a flag as well. A 29-yard pickup, but we'll wait and see. A little fake to Patterson, drop off to the fullback, and here is Craig Plant. And it's a face mask, the initial signal against Colfax. And Akai is starting at fullback because of an injury to Michael Alexander, though Alexander will start on defense.
Defense, first down.
And so a face mask against Colfax, give Manteca an extra 5. The rest of the crew, Craig Plant, as I mentioned, is the referee. The umpire is Dave Wallace. The head linesman is Bruce Borboa. The back judge is Mark Ferry. The line judge is George Klein. And the alternate is Dennis Wallace, Dave's brother. 1st and 10, Manteca officially at the 37 of Colfax. Sedano looks like he's going to change the play as Manteca's in the offset eye. Taking a long time here. Now Akaya goes in motion and a flag, and Manteca may have taken too much time. We'll wait and see. They did. There's Ruben Sedano. Here's the call. And so that was the dead ball foul. The delay of game against the Buffaloes makes it 1st and 15. Maybe some jitters for each team early on. We still owe you the Manteca offensive line. A lot's been going on, though. We'll get it after this play. 1st and 15. Sedano keeping again, but he's in some trouble. Now he'll run up the middle and maybe gain a yard or two on the play as he's brought down. DJ Balmain and others were there for Colfax, so we'll give Sedano 2. He's a good runner. He's scored 8 touchdowns this year. There's the O-line. Tyler McCready, a two-way player. John O'Brien also starts on D. 8 of the Manteca offensive guys will see time on defense. Darnell's the center, Sandate is the right guard, and Justin Knapp, whose brother played in the 0-2 game, is the right tackle. Also, Tyler McCready's brother, Mitch, played in the 0-1 section championship team and then the 0-2 team that lost to Colfax. 2nd down for Manteca, close to 14. At about the 41. Now out of the shotgun for Sedano, 2 receivers to the right. Looking deep, has a receiver open, and it's dropped. And Manteca had an open receiver. It was Kevin Miller, and he just couldn't hold it. He had gotten beyond the defense. And so it's 3rd down now as Kevin Miller was in the clear and couldn't hold it. The defense for Colfax up front, it's Richie Laura, DJ Balmain, and Paul Cook. The linebackers, the ends, Collier and Hauser. Inside, Larry Wooten and Colton Russey. The corners are Donovan Gannon and Tony Yazzolino, and then Brandon Chastain and Brandon Lorraine are the safeties. 3rd and about 14 for Manteca. Crawford goes in motion. Manteca runs with Patterson. Andre Patterson spins down to the 30. He's stopped there by Donovan Gann in the corner. Patterson got about 10. And so it's 4th and 4. 10 there for Patterson, the leading rusher for Manteca. 1,463 yards coming in, 19 touchdowns. A year ago on the section final win against Sonora, he had a touchdown. Sedano brings the Buffaloes to the line. They will go for it on 4th and 4. They have to get to the 27. Quick pass to Barber. He wasn't ready for it. It falls incomplete. Yazzolino was in coverage, and so on downs, it will go over to Colfax. There's Ruben Sedano with his numbers coming in, but it was not to be there for the Buffaloes on that opening possession. As Ruben Sedano, he says his favorite movie is Gladiator, and he plays like that at 5'8", but Colfax gets the stop after Miller had gotten deep, couldn't hold it, and so at the 31, Colfax will have it for the first time with their high-powered offense. 2 1,000-yard receivers and Alex Rump out of the shotgun. He has thrown 30 touchdowns this year. That's complete to Justin Chastain. He's tackled immediately, though, by Jared Akaya. Akaya and Forrest Connor, the other corner for Manteca, are going to have very busy nights tonight. So the offense, Rump is the quarterback, 30 touchdowns and only 4 picks, but 3 of those have come in the first 2 rounds of the playoff. The running back is Mike Fucci. He's outstanding. Ballinger is the tight end. 3 receivers, Olson, Chastain, they're both over 1,000 yards, and Barbier as well. We'll get you the O-line after this play. 2nd and 7 at the 34. On the ground for Colfax, and it's a nice gain by Fucci. Mike Fucci, 1,214 yards. That is a school record for a single season. He got a good 4, maybe a little more. It's going to be 3rd and a couple. Fitzhugh, Cody, Wood, who is an all-leaguer, Lowry, and Seither from left tackle to right tackle. 3rd and 2. After Fucci got 5 officially. The comeback to Chastain. David Mills tackles him, but it looks like Justin Chastain will have enough for the first down. It needed 2, got 3, maybe 4. And so the defense for Manteca, they only yield 9 points per game. Colfax averages 34. It'll be interesting to see how that pans out. Mills, the nose guard, Knepp and McCready, the tackles. The linebackers on the ends, Ortiz and Crawford, Alexander and O'Brien on the inside. 1st and 10, Colfax up at the 42, their opening possession. Rump on the swing pass that goes not very far. Ortiz almost hit the back. Olsen in the backfield. Olsen's a receiver, but last year he played a lot of running back, and there he kind of came out of the backfield. And so Mike Olsen actually looks like he's going to be spotted for a yard loss. Might have lost more. Connor and Akai are the corners. They're going to be key in this game, as will the safeties, Peters and Bo Fryer. 2nd and 11. Back at the 41 as Olsen did lose a yard. Trips to the left, but it'll be a run with Fucci. Manteca giving chase. It's Alexander as Fucci's trying to get to the outside, and Connor throws him down. Forrest Connor, he goes by Buddha Connor. Used to sit with his legs crossed as a youngster, so his dad gave him that name. Manteca had a back named Don Morgan who went on to play in the NFL. That was on their 93 section finalist team. And then, of course, Michael Turner wore number 2 a year ago, and he's at the game tonight. Fucci got 7. It's 3rd and a full 4. There's Rump. 30 touchdowns, just 4 picks, but 2 last week in the win against Rio Linda, 1 the week before in the win against Oakdale. Fucci looked like he had a head of steam, but then he was held up. Akaya and also Justin Knepp. His brother Adam was on the 0-2 team that lost to Colfax, so I'm sure Justin has that in the back of his mind. Fucci's going to be a full yard, maybe even close to 2 short. There's the run by Fucci. I mean, right there he had a nice hole, but then he cuts and runs into Akaya. And so it's 4th down and a full yard, maybe 2. Drop off to Olsen, and Manteca's going to stop him. Akaya came flying in. It looks like it's Crawford that wraps him up. So a nice job by Jared Akaya in the early going. Buffalo's done a good job against Mike Olsen. A couple of receptions for minus a yard. There's Crawford. He did not play a year ago for the Buffaloes, was on the 04 team as a sophomore, then went up and beat Colfax in the first round of the playoffs, 18-17. So each team's had it once. Each has gone for it on 4th down and turned it over on downs. Manteca has it exactly at midfield. 7:37 to go in the opening quarter as we are scoreless at AA Stagg Stadium. Offset eye for Manteca. Patterson, nice cut. Then he takes a big hit as well. It might have been Brandon Lorraine, the first team PVL safety. He's 5th on the team in tackles. But a nice gain by Patterson as he gets 7 and makes it 2nd and 3. There's the nifty cut by Andre Patterson. Has gone for 100 yards 7 times this year, also had a 99-yard game. He'll take it again on 2nd down, falls, and may have enough for a 1st down. We'll have to wait and see. 3rd carry in the early going for Patterson. Typically hasn't been a workhorse for Manteca because many of their games have been over at halftime. It is enough for a 1st down now. Patterson's only had 2 games where he's had 20 or more carries. Those were the 2 games that he went for 200 yards. 206 against Sonora and 207 against Ceres. As far as Manteca having the blowouts, the only games they've trailed this year, 8-0 against East Union. They won that game 50-8. 7-0 and 9-7 against Weston Ranch, and they won that game 40-18. And then the only game they trailed in the second half against Burbank. Sedano keeping, and he's tackled quickly. Well done by Lorraine again, the safety. And Sedano just gets 2. There is Sedano, just 5'8", but as I said, coming in, he is 41-3 as a high school quarterback. 10-0 as a freshman, 8-2 as a sophomore, losing 2 games by a combined 4 points. 12-1 last year as a junior, losing 1 game by 3. That was to Sonora, a game they avenged in the section final. And then this year, perfect to this point, as each team is. 2nd and 8 at the 38, nearing the 6-minute mark of the opening quarter. Patterson, ankle tackle. Nice job there by the nose guard, Richie Laura. Patterson gets 3. It's 3rd and 5. 4 carries early on. As the Manteca cheerleaders are bundled up, it is a cold one. Here on this second day of December, and it appears Manteca will use their first timeout here facing a 3rd and 5. So let's look at the schedule and results for each team as Neil McDaniel, the offensive coordinator, out to talk with the Buffaloes. Each comes in with a flawless mark, though certainly Colfax had more issues in the playoffs than Manteca. The game against Oakdale in the first round, they won 22-21, but they were down 21-14 with under 2 minutes to go. They got a safety and then a touchdown from Rump to Mike Olson with 30 seconds to go on a 4th and 12, and they went for 2, didn't get it, and that's why they won 22-21. Last week against Rio Linda, they trailed 7-6 at the half, and Rump threw 2 interceptions. But as you can see, very dominant outside of maybe that El Dorado game on the 13th of October when they won 27-20. They were down 14-6 at the break. For Manteca, not a lot of close ones. The only one early on was week 3 against Burbank. They were down in the 4th quarter 23-18, but they outscored Burbank 15-2 in that 4th quarter to get the win. Other than that, there's certainly the Oakdale game when they scored 17, but they had 2 touchdowns called back in that game. Oakdale's a common opponent. Manteca won by 10, Colfax by 1, and then Lincoln of Lincoln, both teams handled them pretty well. 3rd and 5 at the 35. One back for Manteca. Now the motion man Akaya takes it, and he'll have a first down and more. Akaya close to 10 as he went in motion off the wing, and then Brandon Chastain, the brother of Justin, makes the tackle, but not before Jared Akaya gets 10. Akaya had that reception to open the game that went for 29. Did a nice job to wrap up. Akaya just his 33rd run of the year. Primarily the corner, but playing a lot of fullback tonight because Michael Alexander's a little banged up. 1st and 10 at the 25. Here's Forrest Connor. Connor keeping the legs going. Yazzolino, the corner, has to make the tackle, but Connor gets at least 7, maybe close to 8, and it looks like it will be about 8 for Forrest Connor. Connor, 22 carries coming in. Manteca, in fact, has 8 different guys who've carried the ball at least 10 times this season. 2nd and 2, inside the 18 for Manteca. They're in the red zone with less than 5 to go in the opening quarter. Defense shifting for Colfax. It's Connor again up the middle, and he will be close to the Buffalo first down as that O-line trying to open some holes up. O'Brien and others, and that is a Manteca first down. So if you count the quarterback, Sedano, and you should, Manteca's already had 4 different guys carry the ball. And they have it 1st and 10 at the 15 of Colfax. 2nd possession of the game for Manteca. They turned it over on downs the first time. Both receivers to the left. Now Akaya goes in motion. Fake to him. Sedano rolling to the right. There's Connor, and he can't hold it. Crawford, the tight end, was open deeper. Sedano didn't see it. He would have had the touchdown. So Manteca's dropped a couple of balls when they've been in the clear. And so 2nd down and 10 after the incompletion. Sedano's completed 61% of his passes, but on average only throws about 8 per game. But he's very efficient, 14 touchdowns and just 3 picks. 2nd and 10 at the 15. Crawford in motion. It's Patterson. He took a pretty good hit at about the 11. Lorraine again, and also Dominic Nicoletti. Patterson got 4. 3rd and 6 upcoming for Manteca. Patterson's 5th carry for 27 yards. 3rd and about 6 at the 11 for Manteca. Have to get to the 5 to pick up the first down. Barber's to the right. Over the middle, Crawford. Touchdown, Manteca. He was wide open. 11-yard score. And the Buffaloes strike first. And for Adam Crawford, that is his 4th receiving touchdown in his last 5 catches. Buffaloes is missing the E. And so Adrian Fuentes on for the point after. He's made 58 of 62 this year. Fryer to hold, Ortiz to snap. And there's a flag. Here's a quick call from Craig Plant.
Encroachment defense.
And so encroachment against Colfax. Now Manteca actually went for 2 back in 2004 when Colfax wasn't on the field for a point after. That's how they ended up winning 18-17 after a field goal that was made by Anthony King at the end. It would appear Manteca will decline that, and Fuentes will go at it again. He's had stretches of 20 in a row and 27 in a row this year. He's made his last 5 coming in. And it's good. Remember the goalpost, this is a college stadium. Pacific used to play here 11 years ago. It's 5 feet more narrow than a high school stadium. And so Manteca, on the strength of this play right here, Ruben Sedano to Adam Crawford, a couple of seniors. Crawford didn't get to play in the section final a year ago, and he has a touchdown here in the 06 final. Very efficient season for Crawford as a tight end. That's his 9th catch. 5 have gone for touchdowns. As I said, 4 of the last 5 that he has caught have gone for touchdowns as well. So Manteca possesses it for nearly 4 full minutes. They go 50 yards in 10 plays, the last of which the 11-yarder on 3rd down to Crawford. And you think of the tight ends that Manteca's had during this run since 2001 when they've been in the playoffs 5 out of 6 years and the finals 4 out of 6. You had Wes Chamberlain in 01, James Rubel, who had 2 touchdowns in the 02 final, Brian Cross, and then last year Alex Paul had 4 catches. There's Crawford. Fuentes ready to kick off for Manteca. It's a squib kick, and it scoots past. That's a live ball, but it's going to go out of bounds. It's going to be in a penalty against Manteca. Almost was a great situation there, and Craig Plant will give us the call. So almost was golden for Manteca.
Legal procedure here. First.
And so Colfax going to take it at the 35. Nice kick though by Fuentes, just unfortunate for him and Manteca that it goes out of bounds. So Colfax, the number 4 team in the state Division III according to Cal High Sports. Manteca is 3rd. They've been right next to each other all season long for the most part. Out of the mini shotgun or the pistol, like Nevada, the handoff from Rump to Fucci. He's able to get to the outside and does a nice job to pick up about 5 as many Buffalo defenders were in hot pursuit. One of those was Justin Knapp. Fucci's 4th carry for 19 yards. Most of the time, Colfax is just going to have one back in the backfield, and it would be Fucci, although David Zablotny and Ben Schauberger will also play. 2nd and a short 5 for the Falcons, trailing 7-0. Rump has some time, looking to Olsen, can't hold it. Connor was close by, and it falls incomplete. The first incompletion for Rump, though all of his completions have been very short. He's 4 for 5, but just for 5 yards. Mike Olsen coming in, 53 grabs, 1,020 yards, and 14 total touchdowns. Justin Chastain, the leading receiver, 62 for 1140. 3rd down and about 5. Come back to Fucci, trying to set up the screen, has some blockers, and he'll break a tackle to pick up the 1st down as he gets 7. Nice design there, as there was a convoy in front of Fucci. That's his 1st catch, and Rump's 5 out of 6, but just for 12 yards. And one of the keys will be, can Manteca get any pressure on Rump? I mean, he's had a lot of time when he goes 30 touchdowns and 4 picks. Just 1 pick through 10 regular season games. Nice fake one-way, come back to Fucci, and the blockers were there. At the 47, deep drop by Rump, in some trouble, over the middle. That's caught by Justin Chastain. Loses footing. Manteca thinks they have the ball, but the officials were saying he was down, and that appeared to be the case. Akaya was there for Manteca, but Chastain was already on the ground, then it came out. At least that's what it appeared to be from up here. Chastain, that's his 3rd catch for 13, and now 6 of 7 for Rump. Still just 19 yards, although that sets it up at a 2nd and 3 for Colfax. See kind of the tail end, it certainly looked like it was down. 2nd and 3. Here's Fucci on the move. Broke one tackle of Black, but then not of Alexander. So Michael Alexander, playing with the contusion on his knee, has looked pretty good here on defense. Not much for Fucci. In fact, I'd say no gain. Joel Tokheim, a physical therapist in Manteca, has really worked with the Buffaloes and got a lot of their injured guys healthy. 3rd and 3. And you can see that Chastain definitely was down. Then the ball came out on the previous play. Big play here for Colfax, down 7-0. 3rd and a long 3. Maybe another screen coming. It is to Fucci. Nobody's there. 1st down and more. Fucci inside the 35. Spun down near the 30. Tackle made by Bo Fryer, the free safety. But Fucci gets all the way to the 31, a pickup of 16. As that looked like that was a design screen there. Everybody came through to put pressure on Rump, but that left the line of scrimmage area wide open. So Fucci now 2 catches for 23. Nice patience by Rump to let the play develop. 35 yards through the air now, 7 of 8 for Alex Rump. 1st and 10. Zablotny looks like he'll carry for the first time and get a couple. Mills, the leading tackler for Manteca, gets to Zablotny. A gain of maybe 2. It's a generous 2. We'll say 2nd and 8. Zablotny, 62 carries coming in. Now you think about the quarterbacks that have played at Colfax under Tony Martello, a lot of good ones in recent years. On 2nd and 8, Rump over the middle, Olsen's open, tackled immediately by Fryer, but his forward progress may be enough for a 1st down. Right now, Colfax is taking what Manteca will give them, and that is enough for a Falcon 1st down. 8 for 9 now for Rump, 43 yards. But recently, the quarterbacks that have come through Colfax since Tony Martello's arrived, Marcus Arroyo, the late 90s, went on to play at San Jose State. Nate Ray, Fresno State, though he played defensively. J.P. Greco, still at San Jose State. He's also a defensive player now after playing quarterback at Colfax. 1st and 10. Another screen all the way down to the 5. It's Nick Rousette, one of the receivers. Rousette gets 16. Rousette, his 8th catch of the year. That goes for 16, and Rump's 9 for 10. And Eric Reese, the head coach for Manteca, said that Colfax, he thought, would screen them to death, and they've done that so far. 1st and goal for the Falcons, trying to tie this one up as they trail 7-0. Fucci trying to get wide. Akaya doing a great job to string it out, then gets help from Crawford and also O'Brien. No gain. It'll be 2nd and goal. But some of the other quarterbacks for Colfax, recently Jordan Zapper went on to play at Sierra College. Kevin Kleppe, the quarterback the last couple of years, also at Sierra. There's Fucci, and Akaya has been very good on defense. Ben Galbraith was the quarterback in that 0-2 final. He's at Nevada, but now is a tight end. 2nd and goal. Run again with Fucci to the short side, and he's going to lose a yard or 2. Alexander and others. And so there was no room on the short side, just a lot of congestion, and it'll be 3rd and goal. As that's the end of the first quarter. No horn here. That's the end of the first quarter, so everybody's going to have to take the long journey to the other side of the field. It will be 3rd and goal for Colfax around the 6. Manteca getting the only scoring in the opening quarter. An 11-yard touchdown pass from Ruben Sedano to Adam Crawford. And while we have a second, let's go ahead and thank our friends over at Eric's New York Style Pizza, located at 4118 North El Dorado Street in Stockton, 463-6339. Our last game of the year, so we want to thank them for providing pizza to our crew all year long. We want to look at the best marks in the section since 2000. Central won the D5 title on this field earlier, beating Modesto Christian. That's their 6th title, and now Central with 80 wins since 2000. But look who's right after them. This is section-wide, not by division. Colfax 78-7-1 since 2000. Then on down the line, Escalon. Grant won the title last night in D2, Nevada Union. So look at Colfax there, 78-7-1. Manteca since 2000, 63-16-3. Not too far behind, but Central and then Colfax, the best marks in this section, and some very gaudy marks. Central was 6-4 in 2000, Since then, since 2000, they've lost 2 games, 74-2. Remember, they had a 61-game winning streak broken by Cardinal Newman this year in their opener. The last team to beat them before the streak started, Manteca in 01. Here we go, 3rd and goal as we start the second quarter. At about the 6 for Colfax. They run with Fucci, and it's a touchdown. And Fucci takes it in from about 6 yards out. Nice call there, maybe even caught Manteca off guard with the run on 3rd and goal. Tony Martello making the call, and so on for the point after is Jim Ballinger. He's been good this year, 47 of 53. The backup quarterback, Luke Cook, to hold. And it's good, 7-7. 4 seconds into the second quarter. Here's the touchdown. Look at Fucci go up the middle. He'll follow his center, Bo Wood, the all-PVL performer, and dive in for 6. The point after by Ballinger was good. And as you might expect in a section title game between two 12-0 teams, it's tied at 7. First time the section championship game in this section has had two 12-0 teams since 2002, when Central was 12-0 and Gustine was 12-0. A big win that year by Central. We expect this one to be tight throughout. Eric Alves with you here on the Comcast SJTV Sports High School Football Game of the Week, along with Maurice Patterson, Sean Schrock, Demetrius Snayer, Chance McCurry, Adam Chester, and Michael January. So it's Paul Cook to kick deep for Colfax. And it is Connor at the 16 for Manteca. Forrest Connor has a burst, breaks the tackle. Connor nearly to midfield. Did he stay in bounds? Wow, there is 2 flags on the field. Connor gets across the 40, but we'll have to wait and see on the flags. Wow, how did Connor stay in bounds? He's returned 2 kicks for scores this year. One against McNair, one against Weston Ranch. Here's the call.
No, it's sideline interference on. I'm going to go back and.
So sideline interference against Manteca. Wow, maybe somebody pushing Connor possibly, or somebody too close to the field. And we'll have to see if we can pick anything on the sideline.
We had sideline interference. Manteca, first down.
So the ball goes back to the 44 for Manteca. Lose about 18 to 20 yards. Maybe we'll take a look after this play as Manteca has it near the 45. We are tied at 7. 2 receivers to the left. That's the way Sedano looks at first. Now he's going to have to run. And he goes basically nowhere. Nice job by Colfax containing him. It's Laura. Also Colton Russey. Let's see if we can pick up any kind of interferences. Connor comes towards the sideline. Sedano went for no gain on the play. Now watch it come towards the sideline. It's hard to tell there, so maybe it happened after Connor went away. 2nd and 10. Patterson at midfield, trying to get to the outside, making a move. That's a first down and more. Andre Patterson for about 16. He's been very effective in the early going for Manteca. His 6th carry for 43 yards. That man, Michael Turner, scored on the opening play of last year's Division III section championship game for Manteca, the win against Sonora. And of course, he is the VOL Player of the Year. Manteca's had to replace him and so many other great players. He's certainly being the biggest one, but they've done so with guys like Patterson and Sedano, who scored in this game a year ago, as did Michael Barber. 1st and 10, Manteca inside the 40 of Colfax. Backs are split. It's Patterson again, breaking another tackle. Patterson near another first down before he's brought down by Russey again. Russey's 2nd on the team in tackles. He had that key safety against Oakdale. Patterson gets 9. It's 2nd and a yard. 7th carry now for 52. Patterson wasn't with the Buffaloes as a freshman and sophomore. He lived in Manteca until his 8th grade year, went to the Bay Area and came back, and has had 2 monster years as a junior and senior. Akaya, he's had a fine ball game. Akaya needed a yard, gets close to 8. His second carry for 18, so he's been effective in small doses. Akaya transferred from Sierra in Manteca after he was a varsity player as a sophomore, has had 2 good campaigns for the Buffaloes as well. Manteca, 12 four-year players who have gone 41-3 in high school, which is remarkable. Inside the 25, Sedano rolling to the right, in all kinds of trouble. He is going to be sacked. He'll lose at least a yard, maybe a few more. Laura in the area also looked like Paul Cook as well. And so just a loss of a yard there on the sack. Sedano hasn't had a lot of running room tonight. Last year he ran for 30 yards and a score in the section final win against Sonora and threw 10 for 16, 206 yards and a touchdown. 2nd and 11, nearing 9 minutes to go in the second quarter. Sedano looking to Barber, and it's behind him and actually out of bounds as well, as Barber had some one-on-one coverage over there, but Manteca unable to hook up with him. Barber, the leading receiver for the Buffaloes, 32 catches for 675 yards and 10 touchdowns. Yazzolino was over there, the senior. Colfax on defense starts 7 seniors, 4 juniors. Manteca, almost all seniors. They start 10 on offense, 9 on D. 3rd and 11 after the incompletion. Sedano, 2 for 5. Patterson's got some work to do. Has a block from Connor. Andre Patterson. Touchdown, Manteca, 24 yards. Patterson got the block from Connor, and on 3rd and 11, he takes it 24 yards to the house, running left, but the key was the block by Connor, and Manteca has their 2nd touchdown. Patterson scores his 20th of the year. He's had 3 games where he scored 3 this year, 5 games where he's had 2. Fuentes on for the point after. Nice hold by Fryer, and it's good. 14-7 Manteca, 8:53 to go in the first half. There's the touchdown again, running left. And look at number 2, Connor makes the one block that Patterson needed. Then he cuts inside of the block, heads to the pylon, and gets inside the cone for the score. Manteca had it 3 minutes, 2:59 to be precise. 7 plays. And so they've had a 10-play touchdown drive and a 7-play touchdown drive. Now Colfax, certainly with the vaunted offense coming in with the pistol and the receivers all over, they scored 34 per game. Manteca, though, coming in, they average 40 points per game. They now, with their 14 tonight, have scored 497 on the season. They're 3 away from 500, which is unbelievable in 13 high school games. So this one's probably headed for the 30s at least, you would think. Fuentes the kickoff for Manteca. He pooched it last time. The ball falls over. Really no wind, and actually for being December, it's a phenomenal night as far as weather. And so they'll just re-tee it. I don't think there's any need for somebody to come over and be the holder. There's the run again by Patterson as he snuck through and got the great block by Connor. And then Gannon rode him into the end zone, but he was inside the cone for 6. 2nd straight year where Patterson scored a touchdown in the section final. Last year D3, this year D4, just because some more schools have been added. Shorter kick, it's Justin Chastain, and he wisely takes a knee after he was kind of stumbling around. Derek Nygaard came flying in for Manteca, and Colfax with possession at the 27. Now, I mentioned that Colfax is 4th in the state according to Cal High Sports, and Manteca is 3rd, Division III. But as far as the state bowl games, and there's 3, large school, middle school, and the small schools. Colfax is number 1 in the middle school game, and potentially if they win here could play for the state title in 2 weeks. Palo Alto's right behind them. They won their section title game last night, so we'll have to see about that. Manteca, because of their enrollment, is in Division 1 and behind the likes of Grant and De La Salle and others. Draw to Fucci. He spun around and down. Ortiz, who's second on the team in tackles, one of the guys to get there for Manteca, and he had some help from Andy Dye as well. Fucci lost a yard there. He has the touchdown, does Mike Fucci, for Colfax. Colfax off of I-80 on the way to Reno near Auburn. Have Nordic skiing and snowboarding. That kind of tells you about their location and their climate as well for the school. 2nd and 11. Rump with time, over the middle, almost picked by Fryer. Did a great job to read that. The free safety came flying in and almost had his 3rd pick of the year. That falls incomplete, just the 2nd incompletion by Rump, who's now 9 for 11. And he'll make it 3rd and 11. With the ball back at the 26. For Colfax, they trail Manteca 14-7. They change the alignment on offense. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Rump, here comes the screen in the flat. Akaya's going to have to make the tackle on Fucci, and he can't. Nice job by Fucci. 1-on-1, looks like that may be a Colfax first down. Needed 11. And he's right at the marker, and Craig Plant says first down. That was all Mike Fucci right there. Another screen from Colfax, just kind of a swing pass, really. And Fucci out of the backfield. 3 catches for him for 34. He came in on the season with 14 grabs. And now 10 for 12 for Rump, 72 yards. Buffaloes haven't gotten a lot of pressure on him yet tonight. Exactly 8 minutes to go, 1st and 10, Falcons. Fucci, the workhorse. Peters, the strong safety, is the tackler, but a nice gain on first down by Mike Fucci. He'll get to the 44, a gain of 6. There he is wearing number 28. 2nd and 4. Rump over the middle, deflected off his intended receiver, trying to hook up with Ballinger there, Jim Ballinger, who also does the kicking. His cousin Joey also plays some tight end for the Falcons. Stops the clock with 7:26 to go in the 2nd quarter. Now 10 for 13 for Rump. And it is 3rd and 4. A run, though there was some delay there between the quarterback exchange from Rump to Fucci. Alexander barges through for Manteca. Might have even been a loss of 1 there by Fucci. Alexander does a nice job, the inside linebacker. He's tied for 2nd on the team in tackles. There's the leader, David Mills, the nose guard. And a timeout taken here by Colfax. I'm not sure what's going on. Tony Martello was coming on the field, then he went off. There's a little bit of confusion for Colfax, and Manteca had 2 guys go back thinking Colfax was going to punt. But if you take a timeout, there's Coach Martello. What a remarkable run he's had at his alma mater. 10 straight years to the playoffs. 9 out of 11 years a league championship. And 7 straight years of 10 wins or more. I mean, look at this. 2000, they were 11-2. 01, 10-1-1. 02, 13-0. That's when they beat Manteca in the finals. There's Rump talking with Martello. 03, they were 12-1. They beat Oakdale for the section championship. 04, 10-1. Last year, 10-2, lost to Sonora. And then the finals this year. But look at that. 10 wins or more every year. And they had 2 losses in 2000, 2 losses in 05. Other than that, 1 loss or none. So they are going to punt. It's Ballinger, and it'll be downed at the 29 by Colfax's Brandon Chastain. And so I thought maybe when Colfax took the timeout, they would try and go for it, but I'm not sure if Tony Martello even wanted them to call the timeout. Manteca leading by 7, has possession at the 29, their own. There's Sedano, number 3. The winner of this game and Grant will end up being the only unbeaten teams in the Sac Joaquin section. Modesto Christian lost earlier today. Vacaville Christian lost last week. But it'll be Grant and the winner of this game, the only unbeaten teams in the entire section, better than 160 teams. Halfback option maybe coming from Patterson. He better be careful he doesn't fumble. He does. Ball's on the ground, but it looks like Manteca has it. Might have been Crawford, the tight end, coming back for it. And it is Crawford. Patterson was trying to throw to the right, then kept running to the left, still thinking he was going to throw it and had the ball there. And see, he has the ball down low. He doesn't see the defender, and that's Brandon Chastain who forced the fumble, and a loss on that play of 5. Manteca dodges a near catastrophe there had that been recovered by Colfax, although 2nd and 15 now, some work to do. Nearing 6 minutes to go in the opening half. Flag goes up, Barber at the line of scrimmage, and he'll get back maybe to the original line of scrimmage after the fumble, but let's wait and see on the flag. Probably going to be against Manteca. It is. Balmain tackled Barber. And you see Craig Plant discussing it with the captain, Russi, who's a junior.
Illegal procedure on offense, 6 men on the line, still 2nd down.
So Colfax accepts it. It'll remain 2nd down, but the ball goes back to the 19, so we will say 2nd and 20. 2nd and 20 after the penalty against Manteca with the ball back at the Buffalo 19. Bit of a draw to Patterson. Only a yard or so. Nice job by the Falcons defensively. It was Larry Wooten, the team's leading tackler. 140 tackles coming in. He's a senior. He and Russi, the inside backers, are very good for Colfax. The defense for the Falcons has pitched 2 shutouts. 5 times the opposition has had 7 points. They did yield 28 in a game this year, but that was against Lincoln when it was kind of a blowout, and some of that came very late. Patterson just got a yard, so we'll say 3rd and 19. Sedano going to try and run, and he is crunched. Balmain. And he also had help from Paul Cook as Sedano is sacked for a 2nd time. A loss of about 3. Sedano had time for a while, but just nobody was open downfield. Nice job by Colfax in the secondary. And Manteca is going to have to punt. Colfax will have outstanding field position. Sedano punts, and he stands at his own goal line, or maybe the 1. Should be great field position for Colfax. A chance to return this one at the 40. It's Brandon Chastain. He returned 1 punt for a score this year. Doesn't go very far. Good coverage by Manteca. Toby Fox among those down there for Manteca, but Colfax starting at Manteca's 37. That was the first punt of the game by Manteca. Colfax looking for the equalizer. With 4:13 to go in the opening half, a school of less than 1,000. Manteca about 1,700. We'll get into the enrollment numbers later, though. Potentially this game could have been for the middle school state title game, but they go by last year's Seabeds. Rump faked the handoff, now floats a screen. Fucci was on the ground. Colfax lucky there. Akaya didn't pick that off and go the other way. Incompletion. And so Colfax has almost thrown screens all game long. There's Rump talking with Tony Martello. 10 for 14 for Rump. Alex came in with a 65% completion percentage, and you can see with those screens, very high percentage play. Last year, threw 6 scores and had 2 picks, but this year been remarkable as a senior, 30 and 4 touchdowns to interceptions. 2nd and 10. Another screen. This one is going to lose yardage. It was Ballinger, a loss of a couple. Akaya over there again. Also Jeff Black, a very athletic player that Manteca is going to use against the receivers. And Justin Knapp. So a loss of, we'll say, 2 by Jim Ballinger. So it's 3rd and 12. 11 for 15 for Rump. Remember, Colfax will get the ball to start the second half. So big series here in the waning moments of the first half as Colfax tries to tie it up. 3rd and 12 at the 39. Rump in some trouble. McCready after him. Now floats it. Almost a one-handed catch there by Joey Ballinger. Connor came flying in, as did other Buffaloes. Would have been a great play by Joey Ballinger, cousin of Jim Ballinger. They both play tight end. Pretty athletic play by Rump as Tyler McCready was bearing down on him, the outstanding two-way lineman for Manteca. And then Connor almost had the pick. So 4th down and a punting situation for Colfax after the incompletion. Remember, they started that drive on the 37. High snap back to Jim Ballinger. And then it takes a wrong turn there. And we'll have to see where it's spotted out. Conveniently by the Comcast sign, and it's spotted at the, looks like it's going to be near the 30. So wow, the punt officially is going to go about 12 yards. It's going to be spotted at the 28. So maybe even only 11 yards on the punt as it hooked quickly. So Manteca with 2 timeouts and 3:12 to go in the half. They lead by 7 and run with Patterson. Here goes Andre Patterson, breaking tackles, gets to the sideline, a first down before he's bumped out by Donovan Gannon. And Patterson has 12. He's been very effective for Manteca here in the first half. His 10th carry now for 89 yards, and he has one of the 2 Manteca touchdowns. Patterson, as I said, 2 200-yard games this year, 8 games of 99 or more. In his career, 2,600 yards and 39 touchdowns. That's as a junior and a senior. And, of course, he's added to that a bit here now with 40 touchdowns. Patterson running again on first down. Not much doing that time as he goes into the middle of the line. The nose guard, Laura, in on the play. And also Brandon Chastain. 2 there for Patterson, 2nd and 8. So Manteca primarily keeping it on the ground. They've completed 2 passes. 1 went for a touchdown. Clock starting to become a factor for the Buffaloes. They do have 2 timeouts, though. At the 43, Sedano faking the throw, but not buying it for Colfax was Daniel Hauser. And he has a sack. He leads the team. That's now his 13th. And certainly Colfax has been all over Sedano in the fakes. They have not bought them. And a loss there of about 4. It's going to make it 3rd and 12. Outstanding job by Hauser in the one-on-one matchup with Sedano, who hasn't been able to get it going on the ground yet. Under 2 minutes to go now. And Colfax could be getting the ball back here if they can come up with a stop. You see Sedano changing something up there. He's got the play off the wristband. He's had some big games this year for Manteca, 249 yards and 2 scores against Oakdale. And Manteca had to take a timeout as they were taking a long time. So Neil McDaniel, former Turlock Bulldog, will come out, the offensive coordinator. In his 6th year, was the coordinator on the 0-1 team that won the final, the 0-2 team that lost, and of course last year's team that beat Sonora. Manteca going 12-0-1 back in 2001, but trying to have their first ever 13-0 team. Colfax went 13-0 when they beat Manteca in 2002. That's Tony Hampton, the speed and strength coach for Manteca, has been credited with a lot of the improvement with some of their guys. Michael Turner a year ago, speed and whatnot. Andre Patterson, certainly those guys already had some speed to start with, but Tony Hampton's done a great job with them improving that. Good crowd on hand, a cold night, but by December standards, we'll take it. 3rd and 12, maybe even close to 13 for Manteca. Out of the shotgun for Sedano, trips to the left. Long count here. Patterson a long setback. Quick drop. There's Barber on the slam, but Sedano can't get it to him. As he short arms it a bit, falls incomplete, and so Manteca's going to have to punt. And so Manteca now 2 of 6 passing. Barber yet to catch one. 32 catches for him. 9 have gone for touchdowns, but Manteca hasn't gotten it into his hands yet. Good job there by Colfax defensively, and with 1:39 to go, they may have enough time to do something with it. They do have 2 timeouts remaining here late in the first half. And also Brandon Chastain is a threat to bring it back. Was a fair catch signaled for, and Ortiz went into Chastain, so that's a flag. 5th against Manteca. And it'll be Craig Plant with another call. And obviously that's against Manteca. Ortiz snapped it, hustled down there, but got to be aware certainly that the fair catch was signaled for.
Kick catch, interference, Manteca, awarded fair catch.
All right, so Colfax now with 1:29 to go. Here it is again, and you see Ortiz kind of barging in there to Chastain. The ball's at the 32. With 1:29 to go, 2 timeouts for Colfax as Alex Rump will bring his team to the line. The 5th 2,000-yard passer at Colfax in the decade, and still some time to go in the decade. And here's a flag.
Substitution, defense.
Illegal substitution there against Manteca.
Dead ball, substitution, Manteca, still first down.
So it'll make it 1st and 5. Colfax 12-0 this year. They lost last year in the second round of the playoffs to Sonora. That's also the last team to beat Manteca. That was in week 6 last year. Manteca has won 19 in a row. They had a stretch from 2000 to early 2002 when they had a 17-game unbeaten streak, but there was a tie in there. They've won 19 straight. Rump with the good fake. There's a flag. Looking deep. And what a catch. Olsen, then the ball comes out. And it looks like they're saying that was a catch. Manteca fans are booing, but there's a flag as well. Olsen would be all the way down at the 20. But it looked like the initial signal was against Colfax. Now they're ruling it incomplete, which I think is probably the right call. Double whammy there for Colfax. No catch, and then the flag is going to go against them.
Holding, offense, still first down.
So the hold against Colfax. You saw a sign in the background that said win it for Weldon. That's for Colfax defensive end Brandon Weldon. He had a knee injury on the 3rd play of the first game. Has not played since. Let's see now on this dive by Olsen. Looked like Alex Zanini in that D1 final in 04. I think that was a catch. Doesn't matter though with the penalty. It's going to make it 1st and 20. Rump looking deep again for Justin Chastain, and that's going to probably be offensive interference. So all kinds of calamity here in the latter stages of the first half. And I don't know, that was awfully tough there on that last play by Olsen if it was a catch or not. Thankfully it's for not because there was a penalty, so no biggie. And you see the initial signal by Craig Plant. That is going to be offensive interference against Colfax. They're heading in the wrong direction. And they may want to think about running out the clock now. If they keep throwing it and don't pick up the first down, they may have to give it back to Manteca with good field position. Manteca only has one timeout, so they really can't use them here on defense.
Pass interference, offense, loss of down.
And that's a loss of down as well. As if you didn't hear Craig Plant say that. There was the flag for the hold. This was 2 plays ago. I don't know, guys. You tell me. Might have been catch and then down. Who knows? It's hard to say. 2nd and a mile, and so Fucci running, which is a good call by Colfax. He's stopped. Makes it 3rd. If you're Manteca, you probably call timeout here. I mean, you want the clock to stop, and it looks like the Buffaloes will. The shame for them is Manteca only has, that was their last time out, so they're out. And if you're Colfax, you almost certainly have to run the ball here. You can get the clock down to maybe 25 seconds or less, and then you punt it away. But right now it's 3rd and 30. I mean, the chances of picking it up on a pass are not very good. You could even throw an interception. So I'd be surprised if Colfax throws a pass here. You probably just run it, let as much time as possible run off the clock. You could even take a delay of game, although you're deep in your own territory. Maybe use your timeout at the last second and give the ball back to Manteca with as little time as possible, and the Manteca will be without timeouts. There is Tony Martello. Was an assistant at Nevada for a while as well, and this is kind of a version of the pistol, basically, that Colfax runs on offense. And they run it so well. And so it's 3rd and 30 for Colfax, but they're probably just going to run it and try and run down the clock. At least they should, but we'll see. They do with Fucci, breaks 1 tackle. And then Akaya, and if he can get him out of bounds, that's a huge play. No, the officials are saying he's inbounds, and the clock's going to keep running. The clock will keep running. That was huge, as they say that Fucci was brought down inbounds. Had Fucci been brought down out of bounds, the clock would have stopped with about 36 or 37 seconds. And now this clock can probably wind down to 10 seconds or maybe even less. And you see Colfax, they're probably going to just take the timeout with the play clock 25 seconds, as little as they can. Maybe they don't have to. We'll see. And they don't. So Colfax catches the break there when Fucci was brought down. There's the delay of game. So the clock went to 0. It must have been at 1 for the penalty. So Colfax just let it wind down. I probably would have maybe taken the timeout, because now with the delay of game, it marches you back to the 6, and it's 4th down, so you're going to have to punt. I guess you could take a knee, and maybe that's what Colfax will do with only 1 second. I mean, if it's 4 or 5, you probably got to punt. But with 1 second, clearly you take the snap, and the half's over as long as you can just take the knee. So Colfax, pretty good execution here at the end of the half, not allowing Manteca to get the ball back. Yep, they're not going to punt. There's no need to. And actually, it looks like maybe they're going to try and throw it. No, they'll run it. And that'll do it for the half as Fucci gets about 9. But a big play there when Fucci was ruled inbounds and allowed the clock to work all the way down to 1 second. Otherwise, Manteca would have had it with about 36 seconds to go. And so we're at the half. Manteca on top 14-7. Adam Crawford with the touchdown on a reception from Ruben Sedano. And then also Andre Patterson on a 24-yard touchdown run. For Colfax, their touchdown came on a 6-yard run by Mike Fucci. Colfax will get the ball to start the second half. We're halfway through the Division IV CIF Sac Joaquin Section Championship. Manteca by 7. Back with the start of the second half in just a bit as you watch high school football here on Comcast SJTV Sports. About set to start the second half here in the Division IV CIF Sac Joaquin Section Championship game. Manteca on top 14-7. Colfax only scoring 7 here in the first half. Last week against Rio Linda, they only had 6. The week before against Oakdale in the first round of the playoffs, they only had 7. They did come back to win both those games. Manteca's done a great job holding teams down in the first half. They've only yielded 61 points now in the first half the entire season. Let's look at the first half numbers. 5 possessions for each team. Colfax a touchdown. They turned it over on downs, 2 punts, and into the first half. Manteca 5 possessions, 2 touchdowns, turned it over on downs, and 2 punts. 109 yards on the ground for Manteca, 86 of that coming from Andre Patterson. Passing yards there for Colfax, 70 yards. Alex Rump was 11 for 17, but a lot of screens, so of the short yardage variety. Mike Fucci, 14 for 41 rushing for Colfax, so he almost had all the rushing yards. Ruben Sedano was sacked 3 times, but he did throw a touchdown to Adam Crawford. Neither team turned it over. Penalties about even as well. As Colfax will get the ball to start the second half, and we want to, while we have a moment here, the NCOA, Northern California Officials Association, looking for officials for the 07 season. In fact, many of them are here watching this game as well. Tracy Blackmore, the man to contact. His numbers, area code 209-551-3132, or as you can see there, 499-4115, or the website as well, NCOA Football, FBSouth.org for next season. Here as we conclude on SJTV, the 06 season, the Manteca Buffaloes and the Colfax Falcons, our final game this year, our 13th game of the season, as Jared Akaya had a very good first half for Manteca defensively. There's maybe a future Buffalo. And that's Telka Walser, the former principal at Manteca High. Now it's Steve Winter, an alum. Telka's husband, Jerry, an assistant on this Manteca squad. And there's the sideline for Manteca. But our final game, our 13th game here of the 06 season, our 133rd in the last 10 years, our 10th section final, 4th time we've seen Manteca. It has been a good run. Adrian Fuentes to kick off for Manteca. Buffaloes by 7 as we have 24 minutes to decide the champion. At the 30 for Colfax, they do a good job of covering up. It's Nick Rousette that time who had 1 catch in the first half. When it's a short kick, the up guys really just wrap up. Sometimes they take a knee. That time Rousette gets to about the 35. And so here we go. Again, though, Colfax just 7 in the first half and 7 and 6 the last 2 weeks in the playoffs. And the last 2 weeks have been their lowest scoring games of the year, 22 against Oakdale and 20 against Rio Linda. The key, though, they won those, and they're down 7 here. Each team looking for their 13th and final win in this D4 title game, trying to be one of only 2 unbeaten teams in the entire section, along with Grant. Here's Fucci, has Wood, the center, out in front. Nick Ortiz grabs Fucci after a 5-yard gain. Nice job there by the center, Wood, though, to get out in front of Mike Fucci. His 15th carry for 46 yards, and he's done most of the carrying on the ground. As I said, the single-season all-time rusher at Colfax came in with 1,214 yards, and also the career rusher, 2,307. Coming into this game, breaking the mark of 2013 for Scott Kelly. 2nd and 5 at the 40, their own for Colfax. Fucci again finds a hole as he bounces it to the right. Will be very close to a first down. Covered by Justin Knepp, the 6', 217 senior. His brother now at Stanford. Not playing football, though, and that's a good thing. They only won 1 game this year. And that is enough for a first down as Fucci got 5 again on his 16th carry. There's number 57. Bo Wood's number. Rump. Over the middle to Olsen. First down, maybe 12 on the gain. Jeff Black bumps him down, but Olsen has 12, his longest reception, and we'll see if that gets him going. A big play guy. He and Chastain haven't had big plays yet. That's the 4th catch for just 19 yards for Olsen. And now Rump's 12 for 18 for 82 yards. Manteca's done a good job tackling for the most part after the catch, but they haven't gotten pressure on Rump. He is yet to be sacked. 1st and 10 at the 43. Here's Fucci. Inside the 40, maybe to the 38, Alexander and Mills for Manteca. A gain of 5, 2nd and 5. So Fucci, 3 carries here in the second half. All have gone for 5 yards. He had a 4-touchdown game against El Dorado. 5 times Fucci has scored 2 touchdowns. 9 of 12 games this year, 100 yards or more. 2nd and 5, fake to Fucci. Rump, almost intercepted, swatted away by Jeff Black. Matt Peters was also there. The intended receiver was Rosette. Matt Peters, the strong safety, became the starter in the Sierra game in week number 8. Now, as we said, 3rd meeting in the playoffs for these two schools. They played for the section final in 02, Colfax winning by 3. Many of the Manteca players were 8th graders, and many of them were at that game. And then some were up as sophomores on either side in that 04 playoff game when Manteca upset Colfax. 3rd and 5. Fucci with Wood out in front again, and he'll be close. Connor over there for Manteca, and also Bo Fryer to force Fucci out. He will be very close to a Falcon first down, although Colfax sporting what basically is the Philadelphia Eagle helmets. There was the bump, and it looks like it's going to be just shy. It's 4th down, 4th and a yard. 2 minutes into the second half. The Falcons to go for it. Fake by Rump, setting up the screen. 2 receivers in the area, and it's caught by Justin Chastain, so the Falcons go into the air, and inside the 25 to the 24, a pickup of about 11, and there were 2 receivers that time that were wide open for Colfax. Chastain's 4th catch now for 24 yards, and Rump, he already has 30 attempts. Only 93 yards, but it is moving the ball for Colfax. 1st and 10 at the 24. They trail by 7 here at the start of the second half. Fucci. Nice gain on 1st down. He's inside the 20. Black there for Manteca. One of the few juniors who plays on defense. Defense coordinated by Rick James. Has been with the Buffalo since 02. Came over when Eric Reese got the head job. Manteca's only yielded 9 points per game this year. Only once have they given up 3 touchdowns in a game. That was to Burbank. 2nd and 5. Fucci just keeps eating off 5 yards at a time. He'll take it again. And not 5 this time as Manteca holds them up. It was John O'Brien, the first man to get to him. O'Brien, who started a year ago along with Michael Alexander. And think about what Manteca lost on defense as Fucci got 3. It's 3rd and 2. Michael Turner, Viola MVP, first team guys, James Parra, Daniel Johnson, Seth Davis, Thomas Verdusco, and then honorable mention guys, Paul Camara and also Dominic Bennett. They've done a great job replacing him. Rump, that's complete. It's Ballinger diving for the cone. No signal. Looks like he's going to be spotted at the 1. A pickup of 15 there on 3rd and 2. It's Jim Ballinger. Gets it to the 1. And Rump's had all day to throw and just waited for the tight end to come over the middle. 3rd and 2 is completed for 15 to Ballinger. It's 1st and goal. Fucci, he has his 2nd touchdown. We're a point after away from being tied. And Colfax goes 65 yards on the opening possession of the second half. Very impressive opening drive here to start the second. 1 yard there. The score for Fucci is 21st touchdown of the season. His 20th carry now for 65 yards. And here's Ballinger for the point after. And the lefty has it as the extra points are so important here in a now tied ball game at 14. An 11-play drive for Colfax, taking up 3.5 minutes, just over 3.5. And the capper is the 1-yard run by Mike Fucci. 20 carries for him, 65 yards and 2 touchdowns. But the big play, the 15-yard hookup on 3rd and 2 to Jim Ballinger from Alex Rump. 14 for 21 now for Rump. 108 yards. He averages 230 through the air per game. As you can see now, the Colfax sideline has been energized a bit. Manteca set to get the ball for the first time here in the second half at Amos Alonzo Stagg Memorial Stadium. The number 3 and number 4 team in the state, Division III, according to Cal High Sports. Though Colfax could play for a state title in the middle school game because of their enrollment, Manteca is in Division I as far as that. Here's Barber at the 18 or so. Very good coverage by Colfax as Barber gets the 25, and that's about it. And he's yet to catch a ball. Larry Wooten among those there on the stop for Colfax. And so Manteca will officially go to work at the 26. As we are tied for a second time, it was 7-0 Manteca, 7-7. Then at the half, 14-7 Manteca. Here we are tied at 14. Patterson, who had a very good first half and a touchdown, moving the pile, gets close to the 32, so that'll be 6 for Andre Patterson. Manteca's leading ground gainer both tonight and for the season. 13 carries now for 92 yards. Look at Manteca going to a no huddle here, 2nd and 4. Although Sedano's surveying the defense. And Colfax shifting. Colfax, no two-way players, just the platoon system. Patterson, tough inside run, but then he's driven back. Might have been Lorraine. He at least reacted to it, but forward progress would be close to a Manteca first down. It's very close. Manteca still going no huddle, but it's going to be a measurement. So we'll have a measurement here. That's how close it is. Patterson a year ago, 1,100 yards. 17 touchdowns on the ground. Now has 20 touchdowns this season, 1,463 yards. He's approaching 100, and that is just enough by a nose for the Manteca first down. Patterson now up to 96 yards, 14 carries again. He's only had 2 games over 20 carries this year because Manteca's been out in front so many times. But it looks like the Buffaloes are going to ride him here tonight, and why not? He's been effective. Clock shows 7:39 here in the third. 1st and 10 for Manteca at the 36. Crawford went in motion. Patterson up the middle again. Initially hit by Paul Cook. Patterson got 4. And so Manteca feeling they can get it going, maybe with the no huddle, trying to attack Colfax a bit. 2nd and 6 at the 40. Sedano may be changing the play or calling the play out to Barber as Crawford goes in motion again. And again, it's Andre Patterson, goes airborne, then he takes a big hit by Brandon Chastain, the 5'11", 165 senior. Patterson, only a yard or 2. We'll say 3rd and 4 as Patterson's carried it 4 straight times. 3rd and 4. Patterson's over 100, but took a shot there from Chastain. And so a big play for Colfax. They're making a lot of noise. Their fans are. If they can get a stop, they have momentum. 3rd and 4 for Manteca at the 42. Very loud here at Stagg Stadium. Toss to Patterson. Breaks the tackle. There is a flag. Patterson has the first down, but it may come back. And it will, holding against Manteca. And so Patterson got in the first down, but it will come back. Here's Craig Plant with the call.
Holding offense, still 3rd down.
So it's still 3rd. Ruben Sedano going to head back out. And Manteca picked it up there on about 3rd and 4. This is going to be 3rd and at least 12. 3rd and 12 facing the Buffaloes. As all kinds of noise coming from the far side, and the Colfax fans, many are on their feet. 3rd and 12 at about the 34 for Manteca. Punt by Sedano. Now looking for Barber. And Barber is interfered with. There's 2 flags. It was Brandon Chastain and Manteca. We saw them score a touchdown on that play against Sierra. And this is going to be defensive pass interference. Nice pump by Sedano. He actually underthrew it a little bit, but certainly Manteca will take the pass interference on a 3rd and 12. As Manteca tried to hook up with Barber, and he had a step there on Lorraine, or Chastain, I should say. You got 2 Brandons at safety. Brandon
Defensive
Chastain
pass interference. First down.
and Brandon Lorraine. So that's a first down, a 15-yard penalty. The ball's up to the 49. Watch it again. And clearly, and it really almost helped the ball was underthrown, and Chastain didn't know where it was. At the 49, Patterson will try the right side. Look at him follow his blockers down near the 40. Crawford was out there, and also Justin Knapp as well. Knapp, McCready, guys that have to go both ways for Manteca, and even John O'Brien. So you have your 2 tackles, your guard, and then Crawford, your tight end, who all are 2-way players. That's enough for a Manteca first down as Patterson got 10, and they're still going no huddle. 17 for 112 for Andre Patterson. Nearing 5.5 to go on the 3rd. But Sedano takes his time at the line. He's a veteran, 41-3 as a quarterback. Patterson, nothing doing there. Laura and Balmain. DJ Balmain, the tackle, and Richie Laura, the nose guard. And Andre Patterson just is going to get 1. And so Patterson has carried 6 straight times. Of course, the interference was in between. 18 for 113 yards. Manteca, 9 times in 12 games rushed for 200 yards or more. Their season low was 144 against Oakdale as a team. They averaged 240 on the ground. Patterson went in motion. Again, not a hole. Balmain making another play along with Colton Russey. And so it's going to be 3rd and long for Manteca. 3rd and we'll say a long 7. Patterson may have gotten 2. Sedano, the 5'8 senior, said in the paper today this may be his last football game. He realizes he's probably not big enough to play quarterback at the next level. Wants to go out a winner, which is what he's been his entire high school career. 3rd and 7, Manteca from the 38 of Colfax in a tie game. Sedano breaks 1 tackle, 2, maybe 3, but he goes down near the line of scrimmage. Might even be a 4th sack for Colfax by a half a yard or so. Sedano broke 2 tackles, but not the 3rd and 4th effort, and so it's a 4th down. And after 8 plays, it looks like Manteca will have to punt and give it back to Colfax. And clearly the Falcons with the momentum right now after they scored. And now look at Sedano. The Buffaloes maybe are going to go for it. And quickly Colfax took a timeout. So Manteca at least got Colfax to burn a timeout. Now Sedano, the quarterback, also punts, but he ran up near the line of scrimmage, and there were a couple of guys back deep. So Colfax had their return team. Wisely, they took a timeout, but now they're down a timeout here still with plenty of time to go in the contest. Now Manteca also caught Colfax off guard back in 04. Colfax didn't have their point after team on the field. Manteca just quickly snapped it and got the 2-point conversion, and that ended up being the margin in an 18-17 game. But who knows if Sedano would have even taken the snap. But when you had 2 guys back to return, I mean, it was 11 on 9 there. 11 on 9 in essence if you snap it. So Manteca in the section finals for the 4th time in 6 years. Colfax 6 out of 10. As far as schools not at the highest level as far as enrollment, these are 2 of the best in the section. I mentioned as far as enrollment, if you're at 1,751 students or more, you are as far Division I as far as the state championship game. Manteca, last year's enrollment, they go by the previous year, was at 1,792. That's why they're in the largest, where they're ranked 8th. Colfax last year was at 1,007, the smallest of the middle school teams, but right now, if they win, they could be playing for the middle school state championship. A lot on the line, not just the section title. Sedano this time will punt, and it's a good one. And Manteca will down it right around the 15. It's Mark Fagoni down there for the Buffaloes. And so Colfax loses a timeout, and they get the ball at the 15, but It's a tie game, and the Falcons have momentum with 3:23 to go in the third. Colfax 11-3 in the postseason since 2000. Manteca 11-2 since 2001. These teams are not accustomed to losing, but one will here tonight. 1st and 10 Falcons. Fucci hit by Mills initially, and also die-in on the play as well. Not much doing for Mike Fucci. We'll say a yard on his 21st carry, but Fucci does have both touchdowns for the Falcons of Colfax. PVL versus VOL, 17th meeting between these two leagues since 2002, all in the playoffs. 9-7 in favor of the Valley Oak League. 2nd and 9, little end around was at Olson, and he's hit for a loss. It's Nick Ortiz. And Mike Olson, who played running back last year, in fact, he had 506 yards rushing last year. He loses a yard there on a nice play by Nick Ortiz, one of 2 juniors who starts on defense for Manteca, along with Bo Fryer. So it's 3rd and 10, and now the Manteca fans starting to rise. Ball's at the 15 for Colfax, their own. Rump looking to Chastain. He is open at the 30. Now right down at the 40-yard line. He got in the clear, and Justin Chastain, a 24-yard hookup. Biggest play of the night for Chastain through the air. His 5th catch now for 48 yards, and he got open. Rump found him. And Alex Rump now 15 for 22 for 132 yards. Yet to throw a touchdown, but hasn't thrown a pick either. 1st and 10, Colfax at the 39 after they pick up the 3rd and 10. McCready got a hit on Rump, and look at the catch by Olson. Mike Olson just across midfield. That's 12 yards, and now Colfax is clicking. But I think that's the first time Rump's even been touched tonight. It was McCready who came through, but not in time. Now the 5th catch for Olson for 31, so he and Justin Chastain both with 5 grabs. 144 yards through the air for Rump. He averages 230, nearly at 2,600 coming into the game. He's over that mark now, and Fucci's going to lose yardage. McCready, Alexander, O'Brien, Dye, Mills, and Connor in on the gang tackle for the Buffaloes. Manteca has shut 4 teams out this year and 6 times held the opposition to 8 or less. And as I said, only yielded 3 touchdowns 1 time this year. A loss of a couple by Fucci. 2nd and 11 or 12. Screen coming, set up nicely. It's Rousette. Stays on his feet. Nick Rousette down to the 20. A huge gain of about 31. Rousette who only came in with 7 catches, goes for 31 there. Also had a catch in the first half of 16, so he's 2 for 47. Coming up big here in the section final. Another screen working to perfection for the Falcons on 1st and 10. Fucci, some room in front of him. He cuts in and is down close to the 10, near another Colfax first down, as Colfax has Manteca on their heels a bit. Fucci getting some congratulations. And there's a down Buffalo. It's Andre Patterson who's playing a little defense, and of course that's key as Patterson runs the ball for Manteca so well and has 100 yards and then some, and maybe a cramp possibly. He's being attended to right now near the 25. So it's going to be just shy for Colfax, and they'll face a 2nd and a yard. Fucci up to 23 carries for 73 yards and has both Colfax touchdowns. As Andre Patterson is being attended to, Manteca didn't want to have to play him too much on defense for obvious reasons. It looks like Tony Hampton saying maybe some fluid here for the possible cramping. So 45 seconds to go here in the third. Manteca winners of 19 in a row, 24 of 25, and 28 of 30. Tied here with Colfax, but Colfax has a 2nd and 1 at the 11. And they are in business as Alex Rump really starting to click with his receivers on this drive. Mike Fucci's been running the ball effectively as well. And Colfax has controlled this third quarter. They had the only points of the quarter after they were down 14-7 at the half. Looking to go up for the first time in the game is Patterson. Up walking. We'll see if he'll come back on offense. Quickly to the line for Colfax on a 2nd and 1. Fucci running left. That's a first down before he stopped. It's going to be close to the 7, maybe the 7.5. On carry number 24. And so Nick Ortiz back into the game for Manteca, but it is going to be 1st and goal for Colfax at the 8. 1st and goal at the 8. Final 20 seconds of the third. Fucci dives forward. Nice effort there. Looked like he was going to get no gain. But he will get inside the 5 just slightly, so about 3 yards there. 2nd and goal upcoming on his 25th carry. Let's look at the end. You see that extra dive there. Good effort from Fucci, who's got to be tired. And so that is the end of the third. Colfax at the doorstep. They are knocking, looking to take their first lead of the game. 2nd and goal upcoming for them just inside the 5. The Falcons looking for their 79th win in the decade against just 7 losses. Looking for their 4th section championship of the decade as well, as they won the title 3 straight, 01, 02, and 03. In 04, Manteca beat them in the first round. Last year, Sonora beat them in the second. They're tired of losing to VOL teams as they face one here tonight in Manteca. Tony Martello's got the beanie going now, talking to Alex Rump, and he knows his Falcons are close. We'll quickly thank our friends over at Eric's New York Style Pizza for a final time. 4118 North Eldorado Street in Stockton, 463-6339. While we have a moment as well, quite a season for West. It came to an end last night in overtime in Merced, but a valiant effort certainly, and quite a 2-year run for the Wolfpack. There's the Buffalo sideline, chance of defense now. We still have not seen a turnover in this game. Each team has gone for it once on 4th down and has not gotten it. 2nd and goal for Colfax inside the 5. As they come off the sideline, Fucci, the lone back behind Rump. He will take it, cuts it inside. Fucci then driven back, but he will get to about the 2. It'll be 3rd and goal from there, again with Bo Wood, the center, pulling. He went wide, then Fucci cut it back inside. Up to 82 yards now for Mike Fucci as the Manteca defense huddles, realizing the enormity of this play. Still a long way to go, but Colfax looking for their first lead. 3rd and goal at the 2. Fumble, ball's on the ground. Fucci never gave it, got it from Rump, and Manteca comes away with it. It's Tyler McCready. His brother Mitch was on the 2002 team that lost. The fans rejoice. The 2002 team that lost to Colfax. And Tyler talked about maybe trying to have some revenge for his brother. He was at that game, and somehow Rump never got it to Fucci. He was on the ground, and McCready, the strongest man, wins that one. So on cue, the turnover happens at the 2. Colfax cannot take the lead, and McCready, the 6'3", 244 senior, comes away with it. Manteca with the ball at their own 2 early here in the 4th. And Manteca will just run it straight forward with Sedano keeping, just trying to get some running room, gets it to the 5. And there's the play. See, Fucci has never had it. I don't know if he was expecting it. It didn't seem like it, and McCready, number 77, ends up with it. So Sedano, who has negative rushing yardage because of all the sacks, has the helmet off there for a moment, got the play. And what a remarkable high school career he has had, trying to finish with 42 wins in 4 years. That would put Manteca on par with the Lincoln team that won the section title in 2000 and the St. Mary's team that won the title in 04 as far as 4-year marks. The toss, you got to be careful near the end zone. Patterson gets to the outside. That's the first down and more. Andre Patterson with the clickers going off in front of us. Some ladies with some hand clappers in front. And Patterson gets up to the 34-yard line, a 29-yard run for him. And look at this effort by Patterson right there at the 10. You knew he had a chance once he got to the outside. On his 20th carry, just the third time he's had 20 carries. The other two, he went for over 200. Here tonight, he has 144. And he's not done yet, I wouldn't imagine. First and 10, Manteca at the 34. We are tied at 14. Play action by Sedano. Looking to Crawford. That was the play they scored the touchdown on. Crawford inside the 40. 30. Gets the block. 20. 10. Down to the 7. Crawford down to the 7-yard line on a 59-yard play. That was the play he scored the touchdown on. This one goes for 59, maybe equally as important. And Crawford, 2 catches for 70 yards. And the Manteca tight ends always come up big in the section championship game. He also got a block downfield. Let's see who it was. That's Bo Fryer that sprung him for an extra 10 or 15 yards. And so Manteca has it first and goal at the 8. It was James Rubel in 02 with 2 touchdowns. Last year, Alex Paul with 4 receptions as far as the tight ends. Patterson breaking a tackle, touchdown, his second. And Manteca retakes the lead, so the Buffaloes go 98 yards in a minute 21. The big plays, the 29-yarder by Patterson and the 59-yarder by Adam Crawford. That was Brian Rollis, who was on last year's championship team. There's Eric Reese, loving that from his Buffaloes. So Patterson has the touchdown, his second. Here's Adrian Fuentes on for the all-important extra point. And it's good, so Manteca's up by 7. What a turn of events, though. The fumble when Fucci couldn't get it from Rump. Patterson has the 29-yard run, then Crawford the 59-yard reception, and it's capped off by the 8-yard Patterson run. His 21st carry, 152 yards, and he has 2 scores. We still, though, have plenty of time to go in this one. Adam Crawford now has 10 receptions on the season, 5 have gone for touchdowns, and he has over 300 yards receiving. Look at Patterson absorb that hit by Lorraine, who's a good tackler, and go in for the score. And when all the momentum, there's Patterson. He's 5'8" as well. The Mighty Mites for Manteca. Sedano and Patterson featured in the paper this week. They are players no matter how tall they are. But it seemed like Colfax had all the momentum. It's back on the Manteca side. And that's covered by Colfax at the 23. Fuentes has done a very nice job with his directional kicking. Joey Ballinger, the man that covers it, but Colfax has the ball just at the 24. Their own, though they've moved the ball quite well here in the second half. And you saw the huddle on the sideline for Colfax, maybe their defense. That's the offense just inside the field of play. 9:55 to go in this Division IV section championship. Manteca has not trailed. We've been tied twice. It's been as good as advertised. At the 24 for the Falcons of Colfax. Swing pass. Out to Mike Olson, breaks one tackle, but then he's drilled by Bo Fryer. He gets to the 30, does Olson, a 6-yard reception. Olson's 6th catch, but only for 37 yards. Manteca has been very good tackling after the catch. 18 for 25 for Rump, up to 181 yards, so approaching his average of 230, but he does not have a passing touchdown. 2nd and 4. Might be a short 4, but 4 nonetheless. The fake one-way come back the other side to Fucci. And he doesn't get very far. No gain, it looks like. So it's still going to be 4 yards to go. It might be closer to 3, but we'll stick with it now. 3rd and a short 4. After there's really no gain on the reception there from Fucci. And so Manteca wants the ball back. From just across the 30, Fucci running, and he's hitting the backfield. It's Justin Knepp first, and then help from everyone. Knepp's brother Adam played on that 0-2 team, much like Tyler McCready's brother Mitch, and I think they're out for vengeance. And it'll be 4th down, and Fucci even loses a yard. So all the momentum clearly now on Manteca's side, but we saw how quickly that changed for Colfax. And Manteca, I think they had too many men on the field. They're trying to get Tyler McCready off the field. Manteca returns to about the 42, Adam Espinoza. And I don't see a flag. One of the officials is still trying to count. Manteca also is trying to call a timeout. I think they might have gotten away with one there. I think Manteca had 12 on the field. Tyler McCready trying to come out. Rick James was trying to call a timeout, didn't get it. And Manteca got away with one there, as they have the ball at the 42. 1st and 10, Manteca leading by 7. 8:11 to play in the game. Fake the toss underneath with Akaya. And he's hit hard by Brandon Lorraine. Told you he was a good tackler. Akaya, though, has gone 2 ways for Manteca. He's played very well as a corner and also had some good runs as the fullback. Got 6, 2nd and 4. Manteca, the 7-point lead may not be enough, but at the same time, they want to take a lot of time off the clock. Buffalo's looking to make it back-to-back section titles and a 25-1 run over 2 years. They're up by 7 with it 2nd and 4 at the 48. Sedano keeping, falls forward for a couple, and lucky to do that because Daniel Hauser was all over him. It's 3rd and a very long 2. Colfax has done a great job limiting the effectiveness of Sedano on the run, though Sedano's had some big passes early to Kaya and 2 others to Crawford. Don't forget that pass interference to Barber as well, although Manteca didn't get any points out of that drive. 3rd and a very long 2. Huge play for Colfax. Quick snap. Sedano blocking for Patterson, and he should have enough for the 1st down. Needed 2, got close to 5. And Sean Schrock took a shot. He'll be okay, though. Told you it would be. It looks like he's going to be attended to real quick. We hope he's okay. He's been with us for 10 years. Much of our crew has been 133 games. Here it is, and this is coming right at Sean. Hanging in there, tough. 1st and 10. Manteca after the run by Patterson. It's Patterson again, spinning. Certainly Manteca's going to have to take care of the ball as well at this point, as Colfax, with the time starting to wind down, going to try and maybe strip it out of there. Patterson has it inside the 40 to the 38. A gain of 7. It's 2nd and 3. Patterson now 23 carries, 164 yards, and maybe working his way to his 3rd 200-yard game of the season. Last year against Sonora in the final, he had 100 yards and a touchdown on the ground. He's bettered that here tonight with 2 scores. Michael Alexander, his first carry, has played fullback much of the season but was slowed by the injury. And Alexander looks like he has enough for the Manteca 1st down. Got 3.5. And the chains move again. Manteca here in the 2nd half, they've only attempted 1 pass. It was the 59-yarder to Crawford. Everything else has been on the ground. They did have that pass interference play that picked up the 1st down to Barber, but it certainly doesn't go down as an official pass. At the 35, under 6 minutes to go now in the game and the season for both of these 2 teams. Alexander goes in motion. Toss. Andre Patterson. Patterson stays in bounds. He's inside the 25 to the 24. And that should be enough for another Manteca first down as Patterson gets 11. And it's just smash mouth football as Manteca is going right at Colfax. Now 175 yards. Look at Sedano down there blocking at 5'8", 175 pounds. And it's starting to become a situation for Colfax where they have to get a turnover, it would appear, if they have any hope. Manteca just pounding away on the ground. 1st and 10 at about the 24 and a half. Toss as Patterson will run right, cuts it back inside. Patterson reversing field. He's inside the 15. Down to about the 6 for Andre Patterson. And Sedano is shaken up back at the 37-yard line. Sedano may be in a blocking situation. He's down at the 37. You see Crawford talking to him. Patterson picked up 18 on that run. So everybody is getting injured. Patterson was hurt earlier, now Sedano. Certainly in this cold, it's got to hurt the hands so much. That's what he's holding right now. Sean Schrock on the sideline. I mean, all these tough guys going down in this championship game. Let's see, number 3, he took a shot right there. That was Sedano, and maybe that's where the injury occurred, but a nice job by Patterson to reverse field on his 25th carry, 193 yards. 7 away from a deuce for him. His season high, 207 against series. He had 206 as well. And so Sedano being attended to on the sideline. The backup quarterback for Manteca is Doug Hayes, a junior. And Sedano's still being worked on. No, now it'll be Hayes that comes in there. So Sedano's still being attended to. Hayes, a junior, taking his first snap. That was the play by Patterson. Sedano got hit on a block. It's 1st and goal for Manteca with Hayes taking his first snap at quarterback, but he's going to hand it off to Patterson most likely. He does. Patterson to the 1. And Hayes will come to the sideline. Let's see if Sedano goes back in or if it'll be Doug Hayes. Tough situation to be in. I know he's just handing it off, but goodness, he's been on the sideline the whole game. And so Patterson now at 198. That's, of course, unofficially. And the 26 carries ties his season high. And so it is 2nd and goal. Certainly this won't put the game out of reach, but Manteca will be in great shape if they go up 2 scores. Hayes back out there again for another snap. Got to be careful with the ball. Remember what happened to Colfax in a similar circumstance. 2nd and goal from the 1. It's Akaya, the fullback. He's in. Touchdown, Manteca. They're up by 2 scores. And so Manteca up by 2 scores now. And Doug Hayes comes out, 2 handoffs, a touchdown for Manteca. 4:05 to play. Fuentes on for the point after. Ortiz snapping, Fryer to hold. And Fuentes is 4 for 4 on the night. For the season, 62 of 66. That man, Jared Akaya, scoring the touchdown, his 9th of the year. And Manteca leads 28-14. And what a turn of events. Remember, it was 14-14. Colfax getting ready to score. They fumble. Fucci never got it from Rump. Manteca goes 98 yards up 21-14. And they just score right here, going 58 yards. Manteca possessed the ball nearly 4 minutes. 9 plays, all on the ground. The last one there, Jared Akaya from a yard out. Again, though, this game is not over. Certainly with Colfax's ability to throw the ball, but they've really done just screens and short to intermediate passing. They're going to have to throw it deep. And again, they're down a timeout. They had to burn one when Manteca almost faked it. There's Sedano being attended to with his hand. Sean Schrock, he's back up working hard. This is a section championship game. Fuentes, another squibber. This might be heading out. We'll see. It's kind of dancing on the sideline, and it does go out. Let's see if Colfax takes it to 35 again. You actually have options on this. And so Colfax, they want to pick up the first down, stop the clock, or get to the sideline. And it is going to go to the 35.
kick out of bounds. First down.
Haven't had many flags in the second half. In fact, not any through the fourth quarter until now. So Colfax has it at the 35. They're down by 2 scores. Trying to come from behind here in the final 4:05. Rump to Justin Chastain, but Manteca tackles him in the field of play and short of the first down. That's Akaya, the man who just scored the touchdown, and he's making the play on defense as well. The clock is going to keep ticking, and it definitely is the enemy of Colfax right now. A gain of 8, 2nd and 2. That's been the key for Manteca. They haven't gotten pressure on Rump, but they've tackled the receivers most of the time almost immediately after the catch. Nearing 3:30 to go in the game. Rump's pass is caught again. That's a first down, so that will stop the clock. That's Mike Olson across midfield. A pickup of around 10. So Olson and Chastain now 7 and 6 catches respectively, 13 between them. And we're told that Sedano's wrist and his hand pretty bad shape right now, but he may not have to take another snap. We'll see. This is caught by Justin Chastain, but Jared Akaya, or check that, that's Michael Barber, number 15, playing defense for the first time all year. And Ortiz out there, the clock keeps going. But Manteca inserting Barber into the defense for the first time all year with his speed, and of course as a receiver, he can play in the secondary quite easily. Only 4 yards on that pickup. 2:50, clock ticking. Rump slips a bit, looking deep. And it's intercepted. It's Forrest Connor at the 5. On the return, here goes Connor. At the 25, has some blockers. And he'll head out of bounds wisely at the 41. And that might do it with 2:29 to go. Connor wearing number 2, the same jersey number that Michael Turner wore a year ago. Coach Reese early on said, well, that's a big leap by him, but certainly that's now his 7th interception, one more than Turner had a year ago. And he goes with the name Buddha Connor, much like Don Morgan did for the Buffaloes back in '93. And the defense, 2 turnovers here in the fourth quarter, huge plays in this game. The fumble, and then certainly here the interception, and Doug Hayes is going to have to go back out there, although Manteca certainly is just going to run the ball and try and run out the clock up by 2 touchdowns. So Sedano still on the sideline, that hand banged up on a block. Here's Patterson with the flag. He's drilled almost immediately for no gain. There's Connor who made the pick on a deep ball that was overthrown. This flag against Manteca, and there's Turner congratulating him. How about that? Almost looking in the mirror, I guess. Remember, Colfax only has 2 timeouts to go. So, against Manteca, they're declined, though, by Colfax. They don't want Manteca to have more downs and more snaps, but the clock going again. Patterson is 27th carry, a season high, 2 yards shy of 200 for the night. Nearing 2 minutes to go. Hayes taking all the time here with the junior. He'll be the man at quarterback next year for Manteca. 2nd and 10, the toss to Patterson. Gets to the 45. Colfax may want to think about a timeout here. Otherwise, the clock's just going to keep ticking. Well, the problem for them is they're down 2 scores. There's Hayes. And I don't pick up Sedano on the sideline. Not sure if he's still being attended to or what the case may be. It's 3rd and 8. Patterson got 2, so that puts him right at 200. Third and 8 at the 45. Clearly the last gasp for Colfax. They must get a stop here. Patterson, of course, he's going to want to try and stay in bounds. He has the first down and more. He may be gone. 20, 10, 5, touchdown. That's your ball game for the Buffaloes. 55 yards for Andre Patterson, his 3rd touchdown, and he has 255 yards on the ground. carry number 29 for him. And that will clinch it for the Buffaloes if it wasn't already done. A 55-yard run by Patterson, and the Manteca fans now sense it. They will soon be rushing the field. And the number one finger's up. Manteca on the verge now of back-to-back section championships and a 25-1 run over 2 years, 12-1 and 13-0. It's now all but assured with 1:12 to play in this contest. Fuentes has the kick block, but really not that big of a deal. 34-14, Manteca, 1:12 to go. Patterson, 255 yards. 169 of them have come in the second half. 3 touchdowns for Patterson, 1 for Crawford, 1 for Akaya for the Buffaloes. And Manteca now will win their 20th game in a row. 25 out of 26 and 29 out of 31. Here it comes again on a 3rd and 8 when everybody in the building knows Patterson's going to run for it, and he's gone there. Crawford, 88, the tight end, had the block down the line, and that shot came to you from Sean Schrock, who took a shot to the head and got back up to provide those pictures. There's Eric Reese. He said there was some unfinished business. There's the Gatorade. They got him. He said there was unfinished business back from 02 when there was controversy. He felt like Manteca won that game. They lost 33-30, and now he is a back-to-back section champion head coach. Manteca's 3rd ever section championship, 01 under Joe Miller, and here in 05 and 06, that's downed at the 29 by Joey Ballinger. Joe Miller, the 2nd all-time winningest coach in Manteca history, won that title in 01. There's Patterson. He's in the building tonight. He's the stat keeper for Manteca. 55 wins in 10 seasons. And the all-time winningest coach in Manteca history, Walker Vick, now works for the section. 76 wins. He went to section finals in 75 and 78. Couldn't come away with the W. But Eric Reese is hot on their tail. And there's Ruben Sedano. Certainly from a personal standpoint, this game's probably not ending the way he would like with the injury and whatnot. But here with the injury, he loves Gladiator, and he's been like Maximus over his high school career. There's a play by Manteca's Bo Fryer as Fucci goes down as we approach 1 minute to play. But Manteca now a champion in 01, 05, and 06. And now 5 of the last 6 years, either the champion 3 times or they lost to the champion in the playoffs 2 times. They end maybe one of the most dominant runs, certainly not the Division I level, but non-Division I runs this section has seen in quite some time. And you probably have to put them on par with the best teams to have played at Manteca and maybe in the section. I mean, they hold Colfax to 14. They average 34. They're going to go 13-0. They score over 500 points. Here's another run by Fucci, final 20 seconds. And Fucci stays in bounds. That might do it. So Manteca ends up scoring 517 points. They only give up 126. And the seconds are ticking off. Manteca is the 2006 Division IV Section Championship team. They have binged the loss to Colfax, and they are rushing the field, the loss in 2002. But Manteca will now be compared with certainly their team last year, but also their 2001 team. They outscored that team by nearly 100. They yield almost the same number of points. The one thing certainly in favor of the 01 team, they shut out Granite Bay and Del Oro in the finals, and they beat Central and Escalon this year. But you cannot take away anything from this 13-0 Manteca team. They now have won 20 games in a row. They beat Colfax by 20, a team that had not lost a game the entire season. And so I guess the question remains, maybe the 01 team should get back together, get in shape, and we'll play in a couple of weeks. We'll bring it to you on SJTV. The 01 team against the 06, and you can't forget the 05 team as well. Quite a run now by Manteca. 3 section championships since 2001. A D2 title, a D3 title, and now a D4 title. They like collecting them at Manteca, and quite a run for Eric Reese in his 5 years at the helm. 3 section finals and now 2 titles. So Manteca finishes perfect at 13-0, the first time in school history. They will not go to a bowl game because they're in the Division I rankings because their enrollment a year ago was better than 1,751. This year it's actually under that mark, but they're up with Division I with De La Salle and Grant and whatnot. If they were in that middle school division, they'd probably be playing for a state title, but I think the section championship will work just fine. And what a night by that man, number 4, Andre Patterson. 3 touchdowns, 255 yards. He was phenomenal, and Manteca went to the ground in the second half. And don't forget the fumble at the 2, and then Manteca went 98 yards when it was a 14-14 game. That's where it changed. And Tyler McCready with the recovery, maybe avenging his brother's loss back in 2002. And like so many of the other Buffaloes that lost in 2002, probably smiling a bit seeing this final. 34-14, Manteca wins. 3 titles now for the Buffaloes in 6 years. For our entire crew, this concludes 10 years of high school football here on Comcast SJTV. Michael January has been here all along. Maurice Patterson here all season long with us. Demetrius Snayer, Chance McCurry, Sean Schrock, who took a shot, got back in there as well. Adam Cheshire, also James Patterson. And I'm Eric Alves. It has been a fun run. 133 games in the last 10 years, 10 section finals, and it ends in perfection for that man, Eric Reese, as certainly he will get the key to Manteca. And I'm sure this one feels awfully good, probably the exact opposite of what 02 did. And Manteca Buffaloes back-to-back champions, 12-1 last year, 13-0 this year, and that's 20 straight W's. That puts a capper on it for us. We'll not be with you next week. No local team in the D1 final. But we hope you have enjoyed another season of high school football here on Comcast SJTV. It's been a good 10 years. Have a good night. Thanks for watching. Buffaloes are champions again.